All right. So, as usual, say hi in the chat. Tell us where you're watching from. Um, I've got a powerful message to share with you today. And the more activity we get, the more reach we get, right? And the more reach we get, the more we can impact people with the message. So go ahead, help me out. Let's get some fire going in the comments. And here's the deal. Have you ever thought about making the leap and becoming an Agile consultant? You know, those guys and gals who command rates of 250 an hour or more. Because I'm not going to lie, if you're like most Scrum Masters, then you probably think it's impossible. Here's why. You probably believe that you don't have the right experience, or maybe you feel like you do not have the right network, or maybe you just don't know how to go about it. And listen, that's perfectly okay. It's quite normal. In fact, I hear it a lot. And here's what I want you to know. It is possible for you to make that leap and become an Agile consultant, earning way more than you ever dreamed possible. And today I'm going to share with you why this is possible and how you can do it. Right? So I'm Scott Showalter, and my message tonight is about how to move from mid-pay Scrum Master to high-earning Agile consultant, making $250 an hour. Again, a rate that probably sounds too good to be true. And again, I'm here to tell you that it's not. In fact, making this kind of money is within reach for any Scrum Master who knows what they're doing, positions themselves correctly in the marketplace, and has the right strategies in place to find clients, pitch their services in an irresistible way, and close deals that prospective clients easily say yes to. Who wants the easy yeses? Type a Y in the chat. All right. First, what I want to do is I want to kind of cover what are some of the mistakes. So let's cover some of the mistakes that I see Agile coaches making. Scrum Masters specifically. So let's start with the problem. The problem is most Scrum Masters don't know how to make the transition, right? Much less what it takes to actually get there. And that's exactly why I'm here, right? So today I'm going to explain what it might look like to move from mid-pay Scrum Master to high-earning Agile consultant. And we're covering this topic today because, you know, while I usually aim to bring you actionable advice, I think it's important to look at the bigger picture, right? My private coaching clients, for example, typically make up both Scrum Masters and Agile coaches, and they're already earning a decent living, but they understand and they believe that more is possible. They understand the power of networking, building relationships, which, by the way, relationship building is the least effective of 5 types of personas in the consulting space. So be cautious there, because friends don't buy. So don't get too friendly out there. But standing out in your respective field, all of that's important. But having worked with tons of Scrum Masters and Agile coaches over the last 2.5 years, I've actually discovered that a lot of what you hear will grow your income actually doesn't do much for you at all. What do I mean there? Well, I'm talking about things like getting certifications, finding mentors, even writing articles and posting a lot on LinkedIn. None of that can get you to the next level, and often it's just one person screaming as loudly as the next, right? Generating a ton of noise, but not a lot of what? Results. And in the chat, if you've recently scrolled through LinkedIn and you've seen a lot of this noise that I'm referring to, type an N in the chat if you've seen this noise on LinkedIn. Because here's the thing. If you focus on the wrong things, you'll never reach the level of success that you want. So if you're a Scrum Master and you want to earn way more than you are now, and you're wondering why your hard work isn't working to the level that you want it to, and you want to earn more, and we're going to train today on how to think about the way you pursue Agile consulting today in this age of quote unquote Agile is dead. We'll even look at that if that's even a thing, right? So, who wants to learn about how to launch your own Agile consultancy so that you can create new levels of freedom in your life and take your Agile career to that next level? Drop a yes in the chat. So, we're talking about financial freedom, the freedom of never having to worry about money again, never having to look at the price tag, never having to worry about those bills stacking up, never having to be in a job you can't stand, being able to fund your own projects, your goals, your dreams, your ambitions, startup ideas, things of that nature. The ability to create a lifestyle that you love while being able to take however much time you need to do the things that you want to do. Not have to worry about ever having to do the things that you feel you have to, because you can afford to outsource that to someone else. Like cleaning the house. Let's go. All right, so if if this is something that you want to learn, then let's dig in. If you're ready to learn how to move from mid-pay Scrum Master to high-earning Agile Consultant, type a learn in the chat if you're ready to learn. In fact, type an earn in the chat if you're ready to earn. Okay, so let's start by looking at the transition from mid-pay Scrum Master to high-earning Agile Consultant and why it's within reach for you. So the Agile consulting market is growing by the day. Regardless of the recession, regardless of the pandemic, it's still one of the most in-demand services out there that software organizations need. And new software organizations, by the way, are popping on to the scene all the time. Right? So Agile consulting is a billion-dollar industry, evidenced by the fact that companies will pay top dollar to gain access to experienced consultants. I mean, just look at Deloitte. In just 2022 alone, Deloitte was able to generate more than 50 billion. Is this 50? $50 billion in revenue just from their consulting services. This is huge, and it goes to show just how lucrative the Agile consulting industry can be. Not to mention the fact that more and more companies are now turning to Agile coaching as a way to increase their ROI, streamline their operations, get leaner, find more value, because that's where the money lies, right? Is in the delivery of value. And by the way, it's not just about money either. Being an Agile consultant gives you the freedom to work with multiple clients and take on transformations that you control and are passionate about, rather than having to bend to some other transformation consultancy's will and plans. Have you ever been stuck in a transformation and they're making me do this thing and it makes no sense, and I'm like, it would be way better if it was this way, or if the teams had full autonomy and sense of purpose, let alone mastery of their craft. So being an Agile consultant also gives you the flexibility to create your own schedule and work with people from around the world, because a lot of this work can be done 100% remotely if you present it correctly. The kids are playing Minecraft out there in IRL. All right, cool. Minecraft's so cool, right? M in the chat if you have kids or you have played Minecraft yourself, because let's face it, Minecraft's a good time. All right, so like I was saying, this can be done 100% remotely if you pitch it correctly, right? Now I know on-site is perceived as more effective. Well, it was more effective back in the day, but listen, the times have changed, right? There's many ways to successfully transform organizations, even remotely. So let me stop and take a poll real quick. How many of you are remote versus hybrid? So type in R in the chat if you're 100% remote right now as a Scrum Master. By the way, Agile coaches, if you're listening, I love you too, but today we're focusing just on Scrum Masters. Type in H in the chat if you are hybrid right now. So partly remote, partly on site. Okay, cool. Yeah, there's a hybrid is a thing now, but it doesn't have to be. There's still a lot of remote companies out there, but as a consultant, you fully control whether or not you're on-prem. In fact, in most cases, because you're only in this model that I teach, working only 2 hours per day per client, um, it makes no sense for you to be on site. So it's almost always going to be 100% remote. All right, so let's talk about the common mistakes people make when making that transition to Agile consultant. So when it comes to transitioning into a consulting role, one of the biggest mistakes I see Agilists of all kinds make, yes, that Scrum Masters, Agile coaches alike, is that they still think they need to work 40 hours per week and only take on one client at a time. Like I just said, you don't have to do that. It could be 2 hours a day per client, and you can still earn 10K a month per client, which means the way of thinking, the old way, 40 hours a week for one client, that's a recipe for disaster, right? It leaves you with very little flexibility, and it means that any one client can suddenly pull the plug at any given moment, and you're left with no income. So let's say you have two clients and you're earning 20K a month, and you're working 20 hours a week. More stable, right? All right, the second mistake people make is that they underestimate the value of their skills and experience. Okay, so listen, if you're a mid-pay Scrum Master and the thought of charging $250 an hour may seem like a pipe dream, the truth is you've got the experience and the knowledge to back it up. So why not go for it? Right? You don't have to settle for mid-pay Scrum Master rates. You can charge top dollar, and that's what I'm going to be talking about in the coming minutes here is how we go about doing this. I actually have a little framework. I'll break it down for you. But let me know in the chat. Um, are you enjoying this content? By the way, if you are enjoying this content, make sure to hit the like button, share it with your friends. If you're like, why can't I type in the chat? Well, it's because you have to be a subscriber. But if you're a subscriber, make sure that you hit the bell for notifications because sometimes things happen. And this week, my LinkedIn profile got hacked, so not everyone here is here that is supposed to be here. So when you hit the bell for notifications, you can always make sure that you're always able to tune in because YouTube will let you know when your notifications. Hey, Scott's live. He's got some bombs he's going to drop, some golden nuggets. You won't miss a beat. All right, so the third mistake that I see people make when trying to transition into an Agile consulting role is that they don't have an actionable step-by-step plan. Right? When you're just winging it and trying to figure out your way, it's easy to get overwhelmed by all the moving parts. And it also results in a lot of wasted time, energy, and resources. Again, you can see evidence of all that and all the noise that you see on LinkedIn. It's a mess out there, friends. I sometimes have to like stop scrolling because it's so bad. And that's why it's important to have an actual plan specific to your context, your needs, and of course, backed by a guarantee that if you execute on that plan, you will succeed. And it all starts with having a clear vision of who you can help and how you can help them. And from there, we can create the roadmap to getting to where you want to grow. So, how do you do this? Well, let me introduce this four-step approach to transitioning from mid-pay Scrum Master to high-earning Agile consultant. Step 1, know your target market. Step 2, learn the consulting and sales game. Step 3, brand yourself as an expert and market your services. And step 4, get the right clients. So let's talk about each step in more detail now. Step 1, know your target market. This is one of the most important aspects of any successful business, and it applies to Agile consultants just as much, right? You need to be clear on who you serve, what kind of problems you can help them solve, and who you want to be working with. Because when you do this, it ensures that you're focusing all of your energy on the right people, the right organizations. It also helps when it comes to pitching and marketing your services. So let's talk about that. Step 2 is learning the consulting and the sales game. It is a game. Some people say it's a numbers game, but it doesn't have to be. It can be a skill game as well. And this is where you need to be flexible and agile in the way you think about things. Because I can hand you a sales script and you can go out and still get it wrong because there's other factors at play. For example, instead of simply pitching your services, you got to think about how you create a win-win situation for both you and your client. Um, Part of this could be, through offering something like an obaya or a discovery session, or like having a framework for an early conversation that can simply prove the value of what you do, right? And so if you're like, oh, sales are involved, I'm out, Scott. Hang on, hang on. You're thinking about the old model of selling, right? The new model of selling is coaching. So if you're a great coach, you can easily sell, get those easy yeses, and clients that are happy to pay you $250 an hour for what you do because you've asked the right questions. You've done less talking and more listening. And you've tailored what you do to what they want. Okay? So, step 3, brand yourself as an expert and market your services. If you want to be successful in this business, then you need to make sure that the world knows who you are and what you do. This means building a strong personal brand, leveraging social media and content marketing, yes, networking with the right people, attending events and conferences, and generally making sure you get the word out about what you can offer. Now, there are definitely ways to go much faster than this, though, so if you're interested in learning those skills, you might want to explore this option with me. Um, but yeah, it doesn't have to be that difficult. All right, step 4, get the right clients. So once you have the first 3 steps nailed down, this is where you can start to get the right clients for your consultancy. Start scaling from one client on the side while you're working full time as a Scrum Master to earning that second client, doubling your income while working only 20 hours a week so step 1 is doubling your income while working, I guess, 50 hours a week if you can find 2 extra hours in your day. But once you find that second client, it's easy to then leave the 40-hour a week gig and now you're doubled your income working only 20 hours a week. How incredible will that be? Like, what would you do? Throw in the chat, type in the chat. What would you do with that extra time? If you had 20 additional hours in your week, what would you do with it? How would you invest that extra time? So in this step 4, you need to have a clear process for qualifying, engaging, and onboarding clients so that you're only working with those that are the best fit with the best return on your investment of both time, energy, and finances. And this, again, it includes understanding their context, their needs, their goals, and then demonstrating how you can meet them in a way that's clear to them that you are the only Agile consultant or consultancy in the entire world that can fill their highly specific need. Think about that. With power like that, you can rule the world, or at least the software world, or, dominate a market where Deloitte, McKinsey, and Accenture play a measly game of Scrabble for crumbs, right? So at the end of the day, if you have an actionable plan, highly customized to you, that takes into account all 4 of these steps, you can make that transition from mid-pay Scrum Master to high-paying Agile consultant, earning 250 hour in no time. And I'm here to help, and I'm excited to see more Agile consultants out there in the world making a difference. So if you're ready to make the jump and finally transform your life and career, let's talk more about that plan, what that plan can look like for you. So together we can develop a more like a plan tailored specifically to you and your goals so that you can get on the fast track to success. So if you're a Scrum Master and you're ready, you're on fire, ready to play a bigger game so that you can live a lifestyle most people only dream of, then stop dreaming. I want you to drop the word plan in the chat And either I or someone from my team will reach out to you so we can get you exactly what you're looking for to stop playing small and start crushing this game. Because listen, you're worth it. Your success is out there for the taking. And I'm excited to help you get it. What this has been a thrilling journey. I've had some of the most fulfilling moments of my entire life helping Scrum Masters and Agile coaches like you get massive wins. Massive wins. So drop plan in the chat now, and I'll see you on the flip side. Thanks for joining me, and I look forward to hearing from you.